the two best words in hockey. Game 7. If you're a fan of the game, it's the best thing you can think of. If you're a fan of either of these two teams, it's your worst nightmare. Every pass, every shot, every save, every hit will be the most anxiety you will experience in 2025. Saturday night, the Dallas Stars will face off against the Colorado Avalanche in Game 7 in the Stanley Cup playoffs for the fourth time in their history. Winner moves on. Loser picks up the golf clubs for the summer. Stars versus Avs. Game 7. Let's go.
If you're scared, go to church. Come one, come all. Every hand's on deck. This is the two best teams in the West. Let's find out who's moving.
This is Clean Sheet of Ice, a Texas hockey podcast brought to you by Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. We love Zing Zang over here. Zang responsibly, especially on Saturday night. Please be responsible with your Zing Zang. And shout out to PrizePicks. Use code Apollo when you sign up and get up to $100 matched on your first deposit. PrizePicks is a daily fantasy app. Clean Sheet of Ice, Texas Hockey Podcast. I'm your host, Stone Strankman, joined always by Dom Garcia. How are we feeling on this Friday morning, May 2nd?
If you ask other Stars fans, they are livid. If you ask me, man, listen. Once again, I have to iterate. These are two of the best teams on planet Earth when it comes to hockey, in my opinion. And that was a game. That was a heavyweight knockout, drag-out slugfest. And we did not play a bad game of hockey. When you're playing teams that good, things happen. Some pucks roll, some don't, some stop. The Dallas Stars are showing why they're one of the best teams in hockey, but so is Colorado. And man, I am nervous for Game 7, but I still love the way the Stars played last night.
Yeah, I mean, they're up in Colorado. It's Game 6. If they lose, it's over. They're gone for the summer. They're grabbing their golf clubs. They're going to Cabo. They're doing whatever. And the Stars knew that. They had to come out better than what they did in Game 4, and I don't know if they necessarily did. I think they survived a lot of good shots.
Yeah.
First handful of minutes, and then the puck luck. It always swings back and forth. The pendulum is always going to be back and forth between the two teams. Game 1, all the puck luck was on Colorado. Game 5, you could say all the puck luck was on the Stars. But now Game 6, all the puck luck was on the Colorado Avalanche. I don't think there was a lot of puck luck for the Stars last night. The Avalanche earned their puck luck. I'm not going to discredit them. They were having all the pressure, all of the shots in the first 10 minutes of the game. Obviously, Nichushkin, he got that first goal. It bounced off of Essa's stick, rolled on the ice, and hit off of Lyubushkin's skate into the net on the far side of Ottinger. He couldn't get there in time. It was a weird play. It was nowhere near the net until it bounced off of Lyubushkin's skate, where he's playing good defense. He's making sure the defender or the offensive guy doesn't get close to the net. They did all the right things. The puck ended up in the net. You're like, it's 1-0. And that was a lucky goal. They created it, obviously. Like, they were getting tons of shots and quality shots on goal. It was terrifying. But that happens. You're like, okay, just go get one back. And they fought back. They were getting some decent shots. They weren't getting crazy shots on goal. And then Colorado scores another. And you're like, okay, can we have one of those games that we had in, was it March, February? It was March. They were up in Colorado. It was Mikko's first game in Colorado, and they scored the first goal, and then Colorado scored 3 goals unanswered. And then late in the third period, you get Matt Duchene, and I think Maverick Bork scored a goal in that game, and it's like tie game, go to overtime. Kel McCarr scores it in overtime, whatever. It's 3-on-3, so it doesn't matter. But you have the ability to come back. And you're sitting there 2-0. You're like, I don't feel great, but I don't feel bad after the first period.
Yeah, and the first period, the big thing that stood out to me was we could not get the puck out of our defensive zone. It felt impossible. Colorado does this thing where they force you to make passes quicker than you want to, and they'll rush a pass. And when that happens, the handling of those passes get a little too mustard on the pass, and that's when Colorado takes advantage. I still thought our blue line were kind of a little flat-footed at times, which led to – you said it perfectly. Like, they created their own luck. Before the lucky bounces, Colorado was making really good cross-ice passes. You cannot deny that. Maybe a puck goes a little too close and it ends up a goal. Maybe it's not. But you can't let those passes get there to start the luck to begin with. And that's what happened. I don't see any of that first period on Otter. And in my opinion, when he let up that first one, he really locked in with his pads and then that second one was just, it is what it is. But you can't. I think I don't know if it was the first period or the second. There was like 18 shots on Otter in.
I think it was 19 in the first period.
Like, boy, that's trouble in paradise. No matter how good your goalie is, and Otter's very good, but yeah, it was just that first period. If I had a gripe, it was just get that puck out of our zone. And when you have no Miro Heiskanen, it's more difficult, but that doesn't mean it's impossible. And Colorado, they needed that first period to be strong, and it was for them. Got to tip your cap to them.
Yeah, I mean, they played like they were going to lose.
Yeah.
Like if they lost, it was over. So that's how they played, and the Stars knew that was what was going to happen. Jake Ottinger knew that's what was going to happen. He knew he was going to face a lot of shots. I don't think he expected 20 shots in the first period. And that was kind of an issue. Like you can't survive that. Like the red bar on EA Sports NHL was all the way gone on Otter after the first period. And just like he's faced so many shots, high danger chances after high danger chances. And it is what it is. First period wasn't great, but second period, that was the best period of hockey I've ever watched, maybe in the history of the NHL. Like out of my experience with watching NHL hockey, that was the best period I've ever watched.
Like I have been watching other series very casually, just because I just want to know what's happening. If you were a casual last night, late at night, I mind you, and you tuned in to one of the best hockey games I've ever seen. I mean, it was every time the other team got momentum, the opposing bench responded, and nobody got down too far. The hits were really big, particularly Colorado really laying the wood. All series, I think it's been Dallas on that end, but they brought it. And no, like as upset as Stars fans are, obviously they wanted to leave last night with a win, but boy, was that a heart, like just I was so strung last night. I mean, anything that went bad, I was expecting to go really bad, and then I wasn't expecting good moments, and we had good moments right when we needed them. It was just so much of a roller coaster, dude.
Yeah, and the first period was a clean period. No penalties for either team, I don't believe. So, just under a minute into the second period, Brock Nelson gets caught for tripping, and I was like, here we go. Go score on this power play. It's a brand new game. All of a sudden, it's a 1-goal game. You have momentum because you just got a penalty, and you score on it. Like, that would be huge. And buddy, did they ever. Roope Hintz, I mean, it was a greasy goal, but he worked for it. He got to the front of the net. Wyatt Johnston gets him to him. Wyatt Johnson gets it to Mikko. Mikko sends a beautiful in between the legs, behind the back pass over to Roope Hintz in the middle of the crease, basically, and he just shoved it. And then I believe Charlie Coyle's skate kicks it 5-hole into the net. So it wasn't even like a clean shot on goal. Like he created a little bit of chaos in front of the net, and good things happen usually when that happens for the Dallas Stars. So you get to the net, you usually score goals. And Roope gets the power play goal just 30-ish seconds into the power play, and you're like, all right, here we go. Here's where we move. And then 2 minutes later, just a beautiful sequence.
Yeah.
Like it was a turnover at the blue line for us. They get the puck into their offensive zone. It's a turnover for them immediately. And the pass from Roope over to Mikael Granlund. They call him Mike. Sorry. Mikael Granlund. And he's just by himself, basically. He's got a defender on his back, but Mikael Granlund had enough speed, and he got past him at the blue line and kind of had a free shot at Blackwood, and he deked a few times and sent it short side. He got him to move a little bit to his right. He sent it short side, roofed it, and all of a sudden it's 2-2, and you're like, okay, we're good. This game's ours now. It's over. Like, I know it's a tie game, but you felt so confident, and the way that they were just able to bounce back in under 4 minutes to get that game to 2-2, I just felt so good when that happened.
Yeah, and as a goalie, when you get fooled like that, it really rattles you. And we've been able to rattle that blue line and the goalie play for Colorado very well. But Mikael Granlund, I mean, I watched this dude when I was a little kid wear this jersey right behind me. His stick work is insane. Like such good hands.
So good.
He's really good, and that trade was worth every penny. I think it was a first-round pick.
Yep.
But yeah, just beautiful. these rushes, like, they're so hard to pull off, but these NHL players make it look so easy. And that momentum, I was thinking, boy, that crowd sounds really pissed. They were complaining a lot about the refs. And listen, when the game's that tight and the game's that good, you gotta you gotta let the boys play. Like, things are gonna get pushed here or there. But man, it was so deflating if you're a Colorado Avs fan to see those 2 goals in and you're thinking, boy, our back's really against the wall now. Like, we have to step up. And I love the response after that first period of Otter getting so many shots on him to kind of switch the pace up. And the Dallas Stars really caught up speed wise in skating with Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great response, but just under a minute later, Marty Necas gets a beautiful feed from Cale Makar. Cale Makar finally showed up for one of these games. It took him 6 games to show up and make a real impact in the game, and he sent a beautiful cross-ice pass to where the Stars were playing zone, so Rupe Hintz was not paying attention to the offensive zone player, and then just kind of skated over to there to the right side of the net, and he had his best game of the series as well,
Yeah.
and it's 3-2. And the momentum that you had just earned is pretty much depleted immediately because the crowd's right back in it. Marty Necas and Cale Makar get on the score sheet, and you're like, damn, you can't let those guys get on. If you're going to keep Nathan MacKinnon at bay, you can't let both of those guys get on the score sheet. And that was tough. I didn't like that at all. But shortly after that, what was it, 3 minutes? 3.5 minutes. Rupe Hintz. They did it again. The flying fin. That's my favorite thing that the Stars can do is when Rupe Hintz has his speed going that night, you can see it. He was the fastest player on the ice last night for either team, I believe. And he got that pass from Mikko, and just sent it. It was kind of the same thing. And he's doing the flying fin. He did it against, was it Seattle a couple of years ago, where he's just flying in and just, at that time he had to do a deke, like in between the legs deke, and then he shot it. But same shot. Right side goes over to the left side, past Blackwood, past the blocker. Just beautiful top left corner. Couldn't have placed it better. And all of a sudden it's 3-3. And you're like, oh, okay, we're back. We're so back.
Yeah. And the TNT studio talked about it in the intermission. Like, with Dallas, we talked so much about Mikko Rantanen. We talked so much about Jason Robinson not being out. They got Rupe Hintz on their roster. Like, this dude is deadly. And boy, did he look good last night. And it was at this moment, like, we're ending the second period, we're going into the third. So many Dallas Stars fans are feeling good, and for rightfully so. Like, the Stars are flying past Colorado's blue line, and Marchman was using his body really well. And so we talked this whole series about how well Mikko Rantanen kind of uses that gigantic moose body to wall people off. And it goes unsaid, but dude, that, like, those types of plays win series. Like, I was destined, like, man, if Otter stays Otter and no more lucky pucks, we're going to be shaking hands after this game. And just, the hockey gods, man. Sometimes they sway your way, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, it is what it is. But third period, obviously, later on, a minute and 25 seconds left, roughly. Cody Ceci gets behind the net and he shoves the puck along the boards over to the right side of the rink. And Rupe Hintz gets in a little bit of a scrum. He digs the puck out and sends it to a streaking Mikko Rantanen, just right down the middle, right down Broadway, just not a soul in sight. And it's Mikko versus Blackwood. It's Mikko versus Colorado. And I was just like, can he score this one? Because he's had a lot of good chances this series.
Yeah.
And obviously, he had that one in game 5 with a streaking Rupe, and he just backdoored it. Like, it was an easy goal for him. This one, a little bit tougher. You got to beat the goaltender one-on-one. You're all by yourself, yes, but it's not like a cross-crease pass where perfectly plays, tip in, kind of just wrister, just easy. But he's right down Broadway, sends it 5-hole on the ice, never left the ice. It was a Wayne Gretzky goal. It was impeccable. It's 4-3 Stars. And I'm like, holy shit, Mikko Rantanen has 4 points this period. Oh, by the way, Rupe Hintz, 4 points this period. First pair of teammates to ever have 4 points in a single period in the Stanley Cup playoffs, ever. It's never happened before. And there's only like 9 to 10 guys, I think, that have 4 points in a period in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And 2 of them happened last night.
Yeah, dude, going back, dude, this was a wild game. And if you missed it, I feel sorry for you. But in my head, when that goal goes in, I'm like, dude, if Mikko Rantanen sends these Avs packing, like that has to feel so good if you're him. And he loves those guys, and I still don't understand Avs fans giving Mikko, and like Matt Duchene's one of the most respected NHL players in the entire league. Like the charity work he does, he's a good person. Like to boo him every time he touches the puck is kind of weird, but Mikko never wanted out of Colorado. Like I don't get why fans are so hostile towards him. I'm lucky that we have him for the next 7-8 seasons. But yeah, like all along I said, man, it's going to be tough for Colorado to play without Mikko. And it's going to be really fun to see once he finally dials it in chemistry wise. And that Finnish connection, dude. Like Jim Nill knows exactly what he's doing. If he sees that Finnish flag, boy, he's going to spend some extra time scouting you.
Yeah, it was an incredible period. I mean, you're up 4-3 after being down 2-0 in the first period, where you had hardly any good chances on goal, where they had all of the good chances and all the good puck luck on their goal. We had a little bit in the second period. I wouldn't say it was a lot of luck. I think it was just a lot of really good play. The one lucky thing was that Coyle kicked Rupe's power play goal into the net, really, but that power play was buzzing in the first 25, 30 seconds of it. I think they ultimately score regardless. But then the third period comes, and it's an onslaught. It's the first period all over again. Colorado's having all the chances. We're playing on our heels. It's terrifying, all to say the least. And Nichushkin gets a goal. It was backdoor. It was a rebound shot. He went to the right part of the net, and he got the goal. And all of a sudden, it's 4-4, and you're like, "Fucking hell, okay, we can go get another." We just watched that second period. We can go get another. It shouldn't be a problem, but that wasn't the case.
Yeah, I don't know if it was this goal or the one that followed after, but like you talk about puck luck, a mishandle, like not whiffing on the puck, and then it's just laying there on the ice to gravitate, and then boom, Otter had already reacted to the shot, and it's just golly, like that's hockey, man.
It got stuck off his blocker in his pad. Like it bounced just perfectly for Nichushkin to just put it right in the net, to where Otter's basically falling down because he's already sliding over to hit the blocker. He tried to block it over towards the boards. It didn't go that way. It was a good save, but no Stars defender in sight to get Nichushkin stick lifted or anything like that. And it was just an unfortunate circumstance for Otter. He made the right decision. It just, the puck luck didn't go his way that time. It went to Nichushkin, and Nichushkin had 2 goals that game. And then a few minutes later is when the game ended, in my eyes. Like,
yeah, me too.
Otter makes a good save. There's 3 or 4 Stars right around him, but no Colorado players. And Sam Steele decides to try to lift the puck over towards the left side of the ice, and it hit off of Colin Blackwell's shoulder. And I don't know if Colin Blackwell was trying to block it, because it was a pretty high flip towards the glass. And if it goes over the glass, then all of a sudden they're on the power play and it's tied 4-4, and you're like, fuck, we can't go to the power play right now. So I don't know if he was trying to block it or try to get out of the way. It just perfectly clipped Colin Blackwell's shoulder, and it went into the net. Otter missed it by an inch or two, coming back over to the other side. And an own goal basically makes it 5-4, and the game wasn't over, but it was over. It just felt like it was completely deflating for the team. And I know they had some decent chances after that, and we're trying to get it back, and they had the empty net for a while. And it's just like, it sucks. It sucks for Colin Blackwell, because he has that OT game winner in game 2. And you're like, he's had a hell of a series. He's throwing his body around. He's making plays. He's doing all these things. And then puck luck, once again, they earned it. Obviously, they put up 45 plus shots. Like, they had so many shots on net, and they got lucky that Sam Steele flicked it into Colin Blackwell, and Blackwell bumped it right into the net. It sucks.
Yeah. And, boy, was it tough to see that. And I think there was a penalty like 7 minutes left in the game. And I'm like, all right, let's just.
Oh, we need to talk about that penalty, though. They call us the Dallas Divers. Everyone does.
Yeah.
It's really the Mason Marchment Divers. Everybody else is pretty tame. I know Jamie Benn had one earlier in the series, but it was pretty blatant that he was sticking his blade towards his face. So I can't help you out there. If you're going to just do something stupid, you were able to dive on it. Mikael Granlund, they're in the offensive zone. They're circling around, and I don't know how they called this in any way, shape, or form. Mikael Granlund's going towards the left dot, the faceoff circle in the offensive zone, and he pulls up and turns his body to avoid hitting Cale Makar. Cale Makar gets touched. I wouldn't say hit. He gets touched and completely falls back. It's the NBA. It's Jalen Brunson. It's LeBron James. It's all Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You can name any NBA player, quality one, and call him flopping Joel Embiid. That's what Cale Makar did. It was the most blatant flop because Mikael Granlund is not the biggest hitter in any way, shape, or form. He is not the biggest person in any way, shape, or form. He's me out there, maybe an inch taller. Like, that's it. He's a small guy. He's not throwing a hit to Cale Makar. He turns his body away to avoid. Cale Makar runs into him, flops it. They get a penalty with 7 minutes left while we're in the offensive zone on a just brutal call for something that hasn't been called for the Avalanche all series with interference. And they call it on the Dallas Stars at the worst time. I know you're down 5-4. You just had an own goal, but you had all the pressure at that point. They were getting like back-to-back icings. Cale Makar diving is a problem that needs to be addressed. Also, the penalty on Brock Nelson, or on, I believe, Thomas Harley earlier in the game, where he flipped the puck and the puck hits Brock Nelson in the face, not Thomas Harley's stick. They called high sticking. Yeah, I mean, you didn't get the calls. You didn't get the puck luck. It is what it is.
Yeah, I when I watched the Harley penalty, was that like towards the end of the second period?
Yeah, I believe you had a little bit over a minute or 59 seconds left in the second period, and they killed it off in the second and third.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a puck. The puck hit Brock Nelson in the face. Like, if you watch the replay, his stick's nowhere near his face. It's several inches away.
I didn't notice that. I mean, I
saw it originally. I was like, that could have been the puck. And then they showed the replay. I was like, that wasn't even close to his stick.
I was just watching the head go back, and I was like, all right, that had to be the stick.
Right.
But
you would think.
Yeah. Boy.
Yeah.
Not good, man. Not good. The only thing, like, this series, if we go back from game one on, game one, very deflating, game two, overtime game. Are we heading towards the greatest thing in sports, which is a game 7 overtime?
No.
Like,
no, I won't allow it. I'm going to look up the Vegas series while you talk about that.
That, with the way this thing is ping-ponged, I would expect nothing less. Just a very knock 'em out, drag out first period with probably no goals, a second period with a power play goal, an answer back, and then a winner take all goal to shake hands and go our separate ways. That might happen.
I don't need that in my life.
I don't want it, but
if you could make that not happen for me. I'm also waiting to see if I get a seat for the game. Unfortunately, there's a lot of national media that's going to happen, so I'm unsure if I'm getting a seat for Game 7, which would be debilitating.
Making me even more and more nervous.
Yeah. It's going to be terrible. So Radek Faksa scored the game winner last year in Game 7 against Vegas, which is very funny. I forgot that's what it was because I remember I have that meme saved of him just screaming. Watch. Yeah, it was a wrister from the right side. Very funny. So we won 2-1 last year against Vegas in the third period. I mean, they scored with 19 minutes left, 15, I think, left in the third period, and they just held on the whole time, and they went empty net. Obviously, it was 2-1. I think we're getting one of those. I think it's like 3-2, 2-1, where it's nut crunch time, Game 7, someone scores in the third period, and that's who wins it. Like, it's tied going into the third period. And I don't want that to happen, but I do want that to happen for us. I predicted Stars in 7, so my prediction is still alive. Yours is dead. Yep. 2 games now. So we've got a chance. But Game 7, Saturday night, the puck luck pendulum has swung one way. Will it swing back? Will we get the puck luck like we had in Game 5 where Wyatt Johnson shoots it into nothing, essentially, and scores 9 seconds into the game? Do we get just a comfortable Game 7? I would love a comfortable Game 7 where it felt like Game 5, where you're getting the puck luck, you're getting scoring chances immediately, you're scoring multiple goals in the first period. I would love one of those. That would be tremendous for my mental health and my anxiety. That last night I went to sleep, sitting there, couldn't fall asleep. Obviously, adrenaline's still pretty high and kind of pissed off. Went on TikTok for a while, tried to fall asleep, couldn't do it. I'm sitting there with my hands clenched in my lap. I'm like, all right, we gotta calm down. That's just a key sign for stress and anxiety in your life if you're trying to go to sleep and you're clenching your fists. It was bad.
Yeah, Colorado beat us up so bad towards down the stretch, really at the beginning as well. Um, Prayers up. I don't know how Liam Bichel, like
I don't know how he came back.
the dude was on the count like the Undertaker. Like he down for maybe a full 60 seconds? I don't know, but
Close.
when he's on the ice back, I'm like, how did they let him? Don't they have what is going? But sure enough, like 10 seconds in, he's already throwing hits. Like it's as if it didn't happen. And you know, everyone knows who's not on the ice and who is. But boy, like we knew whoever's going to come out of this series is going to come out beat up, which is why we need to change the playoffs format. But hey, that's a topic for an off season. Yeah, just the fact they're on home ice, and I still thought Otter looked great. I'm crazy, but I think Dallas goes into that game with a little bit more juice than Colorado does.
I think we get game 5 quality from the Stars. Like they're going to come out firing. They're going to come out hitting. I think that was a piece that we were missing last night. I think the hits were very lopsided, especially for the first 2 periods. Like Stars weren't physical enough. They weren't getting to the right spots on the ice. They were playing on their heels instead of their toes until the second period where they played on their toes, scored 4 goals from one line. The problem is that it was only one line doing all the work. It was Rupe, Mikko, and Granny basically doing all the work for you. Like you can't let that happen again. You got to have somebody on another line do something. And I've been fairly disappointed in the second line, the best line in hockey, as we've said. Matt Duchene hasn't. I think he had one of his worst games again last night. I don't think he was spectacular, and I know he's pissed off about it, and he needs to play better. He said it in his presser the day before Game 6 when we were at AAC, and he knows he has to play better. Obviously, Sagan's had a couple of good games. I think Mush got a skate on his wrist in the first period pretty early on from Landeskog, I believe, and he went to the bench looking at it a bunch. He got it wrapped up. He was a little bit slower after that the rest of the game, and I think that was a little bit of a deterrent, but that line has to step up. The Jamie Benn, Wyatt Johnson, Dadonov line's been pretty good this series. They were pretty bad last night. Wyatt Johnson didn't have a bad game. He was a -5 on the score sheet, but it wasn't his fault, I don't think. So I think you need something from another line. If that top line's going to do that, one other line has to step up just once, essentially, throughout the game. And the defense has been fine. You had a few lapses last night, and led to some lucky goals for them, and they earned their luck. And I can't say that enough. They earned their luck. They put all the shots on net. They put all the high danger shots on net, and the Stars didn't until the second period, and then they didn't do it really in the third period. So create your own luck. Be good, be physical, be fast. And I think we're going to get all of those things from the Stars, but you're also going to get that from the Avalanche. So you have to play on your toes and not play on your heels like they did in the first period, I think, in Game 6.
Yeah, and I got to give a lot of credit to Petrovic. Like,
great series.
He's giving you everything you could have hoped for and a little bit more. Why? I know he's young, but Wyatt Johnston, like, there's no way he does not step up in this situation. Like, he's too talented of a player to not have a huge impact. Last game felt very Stankoven-ish, to where like he's working his ass off to get good chances. It's just not happening. No, Wyatt Johnston's going to have some unbelievable, like, weird angle that kind of rebounds into a really good scoring chance for somebody else, or he's going to just flat out dust somebody. I'm pretty confident in that. Like, it's kind of like with my Rockets. Like, there's no way you come back the next game and play as bad as you just did with that second line I'm mainly talking about. Like, it's only up from here with them. And Marchman, like, he's looked so good in previous games to where it really was noticeable that he was just a little tense in his decision making, in being aggressive and chasing pucks and things of that nature. I I don't want to see overtime, but at the same time, I think Colorado's, if they're going to win this game, they're going to have to throw a haymaker in the first 5 minutes. Not the first 10 minutes, the first 5 minutes, cuz that AAC is going to be, you said I think it was game 2, or I don't remember which game it was, but you said it was the loudest you've ever heard the national anthem. I think this one's going to be huge.
Yeah, I think game 5 ended up doing that. I think game 1 was incredibly loud. Game 2 was a little bit worse, but they got better throughout the game. Obviously, you win that game in overtime. And then, yeah, game 5, the crowd was buzzing. That was the loudest Stars chant I've heard during the anthem all season long, all the playoffs that I've been to. Like, that was the loudest one. And it caught me off guard with how bad my ears hurt afterwards. And I was like, that's a good crowd. So I need the fans to stand up. Need them to be loud immediately from the jump. Don't sit in your seat until after the first 10 minutes. Like, be a factor. Be a factor for the boys. The boys are going to be a factor for you. So pay it back. I know you paid money to go watch your team, but make sure that Colorado knows you're there. Because if they know, I mean, I think some Avalanche players said that it was one of the loudest crowds they've ever heard in game 5. So just go do that. Go do that again. Be louder than you were in game 5. Be louder than you have ever been. Cheer on the boys. They're going to need you. I hate game 7s, dude. I just hate them so much. But Vegas last year, Wyatt Johnson scored the first goal of the game in the first period. I think we get that again. I think we get the first goal. I think it's Wyatt. I think he get another one from the Mikko line. And then I think he might get one from the Segi line. I think we get one from them. And 3 goals might just be enough. Because I can't say that there's going to be a lot of shots on goal in game 7. I think it's going to be a lot like game 5, where you're going to have to beat the goaltender when you have a chance.
Yeah, and if we can, I mean, what's going to be really huge is we got to stay out of the penalty box. Refs, stay out of the way. I'm going to go back and watch this Harley penalty. If it was some flopping, I'm going to start mouthing, dude.
It was straight puck, dude. Like, I'm telling you, it was all puck.
Like, stay out of the penalty box, Marchman, Jamie, please. And I think our depth, both these teams are gas leg-wise, so it's kind of a 1-for-1. I think our depth's going to get them in tricky situations that Colorado will be uncomfortable, and then Wyatt Johnston or Rupe Hintz or even Matt Duchene is going to send a puck that's just too quick, and that there's going to be some loud cheers in AAC. I really believe that Dallas has the edge going into game 7, but game 7s, man, they're never fun. I mean, they are fun, but they're not.
They're not in any way, shape, or form. I'm not excited about it, but I'm hopefully going to be there. I hope I get a seat in the press box, and hopefully enough national media stays out of my way so I can get my seat that I've been there all season for 70% of the games plus. Like, been there all season. Come on. I need a seat. But I digress. Game 7, Saturday night, 7 o'clock. We finally get an early game since game 1. We haven't had an early game since then. We're the only game of the night, so maybe we start at like 7:09. It's probably ESPN, so we're not going to start till 7:29, but whatever.
Hey, I just want to put this out there. We haven't lost on ESPN.
I think it's ESPN. Is it ESPN? Let's double check real quick. Yeah, it's game 7, so everyone's gonna be nervous. Everyone's gonna be terrified. Yeah, ABC, ESPN Plus. So yep. ESPN.
All 3 losses have been on the TBS or TNT broadcast.
Interesting. Very interesting. Keep us off TNT. Yeah, it's game 7. It's do or die. You either move on to the second round and either play Winnipeg or the St. Louis Blues, or you go home for the summer. And we don't want to go home this summer. I know the boys don't want to go home this summer. Go beat this team. Go beat the Divers of Colorado. Beat the refs. Beat the boys. It's game 7. It's do or die. I mean, there's nothing else to say.
I don't know the health of Liam Bishop. It seems like he's going to play. I don't know. I think Miro's out.
They haven't said. So that's a little tidbit. Went to practice at AAC on Wednesday. It was mandatory. They did a bunch of power play and zone entry work and all that kind of stuff. And Miro was skating. And I noticed when he's standing, waiting on instruction for whatever drill they're about to run, is he's leaning on the left leg. When you're standing, you usually lean to one side or the other. I don't know if his left leg is his most comfortable leg to lean on, but he was leaning on it. I was like, that's a sign of comfortability for me. Like, if you're going to lean on that leg and not have any issues and not have to bounce back and forth between the 2 legs, I think that's a good sign that you're leaning on it, or it's a bad sign that he's just testing it. Can't tell you. But then Sam Nessler went to Colorado yesterday for DLS, and he said during pregame skate, that's the hardest he's seen Miro Heiskanen skate since coming back to skate. So There's a possibility. They haven't ruled him out. There was a rumor yesterday that he was going to come off of LTIR at 12:30, and that didn't happen. It was just an uncredible source. And Robert Tiffin, Sam Nessler, Leah, they all said, like, hey, it's probably not going to happen, but we won't know until after morning skate. And obviously, he didn't come off of LTIR. When that happens, that's when you know Miro's probably back that night. So it could happen tomorrow. I don't know if it will. I doubt it, but it's possible. And if you get him back, because he was taking power play unit with Thomas Harley on Wednesday or Thursday, whenever that was before they left. And
Jesus Christ, you add him.
They were alternating him on the shifts with Harley, and then he was also taking power play reps as well during the drills. So it's a possibility. He's getting closer. And now Robo's day to day. So if you advance, there's a possibility he comes back later in round 2.
Yeah, and I in my head, I always had it as Robo is really just shut down for the year, but that's a really promising sign. And I'm going, like, as of today, Friday, 11:15, I'm going into it as Miro's out. And even if Miro's out, dude, like,
you already won 3 games.
You already won 3 games, and those third and fourth line guys are doing enough to give your first and second line guys a chance to go make plays. And that's my frame of why I feel comfortable that win or lose, we're going to get a really good Dallas Stars performance. Hopefully it's a whole 60-minute game, which against a good team like Colorado, that's really tough to do for 7 games, especially when you're beat up as we are. But it's what it's going to take if you want to move on. And I think the Stars tomorrow, Saturday night, I think they'll be moving on.
I hope so. I don't know when round 2 starts. Maybe I come down to Houston. We do a little in-person live show before round 2 starts, possibly early next week. But if not, we'll recap on Sunday or Monday. And if we move on, then we got a preview episode. If we don't, we got a season recap. So we'll be back soon with another episode of Clean Sheet of Ice. Thank you to our sponsor, Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. Zing responsibly, especially Saturday night. Zing responsibly. Don't get too rowdy like that Pittsburgh Pirates fan did the other night. Shout out to Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. And shout out to PrizePicks. Use code Apollo when you sign up and get up to $100 matched on your first deposit. PrizePicks is a daily fantasy app where you hit more or less on every stat, every game, every night, every player. We love PrizePicks. We love Zing Zang. We love the Stars. Game 7. It's the best thing in sports. We'll be back to recap early next week on whatever happens on Game 7. This has been Clean Sheet of Ice, Texas Hockey Podcast.